Hello, everybody. Uh, I did an episode kind of explaining what's been up for the past, who knows, weeks. I don't even can't keep track of the last time I had a regular week of programs that I did, so it's been a while. Uh, Sorry about all the noise, but if you watch the first issue, first episode, damn bikers. If you watch the first episode that gets cut off, you'll know roughly that I'm living on one of the main drags in my village. It's still a village for now, but there is a company that's been amping up the stuff they've been doing and building more and more businesses. And they just put up like three huge apartment complexes. And I think that's all going to lead us into turning our nice little village into a town because we're starting to break. I'm not sure. I think you might need 5,000 people to make it a town. So, and we're still right on the around the 2,000 mark. So we might get lucky and be able to keep it a village. I hope so. I grew up in this village, and I love saying that I live in a village or just outside the village I used to live. Now I'm in the middle of the village, but yeah, I showed you some bits and pieces of the homestead that we moved into. I gave you some updates on what happened, why it all happened, and all that stuff. I think I explained enough, and enough of it got recorded that you get the gist of all that. But the past 2 days, we've been painting. We painted the bedroom and one of the living rooms. It is purple. That one's like a grapish purple. That's also going to be in this room. And the bedroom is more of a Barney the dinosaur, a little bit darker purple. Everybody's like calling me names and stuff, giving me shit. I'm allowing my wife to paint half the house purple. This room will be the same as that purple. And then the kitchen, I'm going to get to be able to do like I think it's a sealskin color I'm going with, a darker gray. So we might get these two rooms done yet in the next week or two. And then we'll have the bathroom left on this level. But we're not going to do the bathroom until we get the bathroom items fixed, all the plumbing done and stuff, depending on how many holes are going to have to be knocked in the wall and stuff like that, and what's going to have to be ripped out. So I figured we'll worry about that after the plumbing gets done, which is hopefully going to. He came this a couple days ago and looked at everything. It looks like it's not too bad. So, other than replacing the shower, everything else should be pretty minimalistic. Should be able to get it all done in a day, which is nice. And then I can get the electrician in next and get all that stuff done. Get the lights. Because we had no fixture in our bedroom. And it's just open wires. And there was this plastic square thing on the ceiling. I'm like, okay, we'll sit there uh, and everybody got it all blocked off because we had to move all the furniture around so they could paint that room. But basically, there's a big square hole with some freshly new PVC plumbing running through it. But yeah, they cut the hole, never replaced it. They just stuck this plastic square thing in it. And now we can't get it put back in after we took it out to see what the heck was up there. So I don't like tall ceilings. I think they're stupid. It's a waste of space. You can't hang pictures. Well, you could, but who wants to look up at a bunch of pictures and stuff like that? I'd rather have the floor lowered so you'd have more of a gap between the floor of the downstairs and the floor of the upstairs. so it'd have some more noise reduction. That's what I'd prefer to have instead of tall ceilings. I really do not understand the purpose of them, uh, but I notice a lot of people like them. But what you gonna do? This is a house from 1920s, so it's kind of weird that it does have tall ceilings. It's usually a lot of older farmhouses from the early 1900s and stuff that I've lived in and stuff all had very short basements. Had a hunch bend over to get through everything, whereas this basement I can walk through nicely, not have to worry about that stuff. So that's cool. But yeah, and I said on a live show, Aaron's live show last week, that I was going to be trying to get back to my regular programming schedule that week, this past week. But the guy that bought the place from left all his internet stuff hooked up and gave the renter upstairs 2 months of said that she'd have internet for 2 months. So I'm running off his internet because I can't plug my internet in because his is plugged into where I need to plug mine into. So we're trying to live with it, but we did the Crimson Color Comic Club this Saturday show. I froze up a few times on there, which sucks. I noticed when we were doing Psychotronic Squirt Gun Aaron's uh, live show, everybody else was freezing on my screen, but they weren't freezing anywhere else. They were perfectly fine. I knew that. I knew it was just my internet and stuff, but yeah, that's a real bummer because I don't want to start doing live shows and being the person that's constantly cutting out. So I do have his free internet for at least another month, but I think I'm going to talk to the renter and just have mine rehooked up so I can get us back on a normal routine. And we didn't get to watch Svengoolie the past 2 Saturdays because we don't have the TV channels anymore. The ones they give us are just a few sports and a few oddball ones that he had, but he didn't have MeTV, which that is one of my favorite channels on the antenna and stuff. And he's got different antenna like plugins around his house. I don't know which ones are actually antenna, which ones are old internet cables and all that crap. I want to pull them through the floors, snip them, get them to get it narrowed down to the ones that are just there. Pull all the old phone lines, get them out of the way. Uh, it's just, it sucks in a way that we have the original hardwood floors, the old farm hardwood floors, which I like, but because of that step out window thing, having a tree branch fall on it, you can see like a patch job up in the one corner there. A branch must have fell and busted part of the roof edging off, and they didn't fix it up right. They half-assed it, and a bunch of water got in, damaged a bunch of wood in the wall, rotted a bunch of it. I'm sure. I'm sure if I ever get a real carpenter to open it up, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we got to rip out this whole wall and redo it." But the water came down through that side, buckled the floor over there, pulled the flooring away from the other parts. So now you got a floor that goes like that, and then there's a buckle and across, and the rest of the flooring was affected by it. So that kind of sucks. But I do have a friend that's a flooring does flooring, and he doesn't like doing carpeting. He just wants the old hardwood, which is fine. But they have no underlining under the hardwood, so it's like you can see through the cracked parts where the flooring's apart a little further. You can see down into the basement. So I'd like to have a subfloor put in, and then hopefully be able to reuse all the wood flooring. All looks in decent enough shape. We should be able to, and then that'll help eliminate a lot of the squeakiness. Our bedroom, holy cow, everywhere you step, I can just be sitting on the bed with my feet just touching the floor, and the floor is squeaking away. So I feel bad for the renter, but she says she doesn't hear it, so that's a good thing. She says she's been sleeping fine because she comes home around 6 o'clock at night and she's out by 7. Has to get up early, like 4 in the morning, go to work. But yeah, it's coming along. And now that we got that room done, I will get my area set up to do nighttime pods and live shows. So we'll have that going on. And we'll see what else happens with it. And I'll give you updates as we go. What the heck? See what happens. Get some pictures. That was quick.
Yeah.
I didn't think the laundry would be done yet.
I gotta go shut the door and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just doing an update pod to go with the one that got cut off. Other than that, not too much going on with potting. I've just been putting out a few reviews for like Antarctic Press and other people that I do reviews for. Uh, I was gonna do a little opening thing, but I figured I'd do it on this show since it's a quick show up. Anyways, I picked up the electric lawnmower, a Works lawnmower today. I decided to go with the electric because I'm sick and tired of dealing with the gas ones that I'm constantly yanking on the cord and they're not wanting to fire. And then when they do fire, now I got one that's spitting oil through the filter, so I got to figure out if someone must have overfilled it, or I'm guessing when it was stored away for 3 years in the storage shed that all the oil just it was probably sitting on the upside down or at a weird angle, and all the oil just worked its way into the filter. So lots of winding little motorcycles running around. But one thing I did watch, the only thing I've watched in a long time, other than just oddball home shows and stuff like that with the wife, was on Hulu channel. I checked out a new shark show movie called Into the Deep, which had Richard Dreyfuss played the father of it, father of, or grandfather of a daughter who, in the beginning, her and her father are out swimming. He's getting her used to not being scared in that. And all of a sudden, a shark starts circling him, and he gets attacked and eaten. And she gets to the boat and holding his hand, and it's all full of blood. And he gets eaten by the shark. It affects her, makes her afraid of sharks, but she goes into shark schooling and all that oceanography stuff because that's what you do when you have a mental breakdown like that. You got to face your fears. And Richard Dreyfuss plays her grandpa, and he helps face her fears, pushes her to get back into swimming and stuff. And then she goes back out with some friends out in the middle of the ocean. They go do some scuba diving, go look at a wreck, and all of a sudden, pretty beat up looking shark, a huge, massive beat up shark, shows up and starts eating everybody, attacking them. And at the same time, you got drug smugglers that are killing people, and other people that are trying to get a hold of the drugs, and then the Coast Guard and all that. Just all kinds of things happening. But it was a pretty good show. And then in the end, Richard Dreyfuss does a nice little long speech about preservation of sharks and the programs that he's part of and stuff like that. So yeah, if you like shark movies, check that out. Just it was great having him on there. You know Jaws, one of the best shark movies out there. He was a big part of that. So, but yeah. And then I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, or no, Dollar Store. And these were Pokemon Trick or Trade. 5 packs, 2 cards per pack, I think, or 5 mini packs. I'm not sure how many cards are in a pack, probably one or two. But I haven't gotten anything Pokemon in a long time. But know how popular it's become again. So I figured, what the heck? Kind of like Halloween type cards, maybe. That could be fun if they're not worth anything or anything like that. Figured I'd check them out, see what they're all about. And looks like open the first pack, you get 3 cards. That's all right. That's decent because I think it was only $5 for. So you get 5 packs, 3 cards per pack. So that's not bad. This is some type of Galarian Runerigus. Basically, looks like a rock creature. It has like strings for between the hands and body for their arms and legs. This one's cool. It's an Elder Tree Bearer. It's a Trevenant foil. I like that card. Now this one's cute. A Shuppet. Enveloping Shadow. It's a Shuppet. Never heard of it. So these are definitely not creatures that I've seen or heard of before. They might have some types of weird Pikachu versions and stuff. Oh, this one looks like one I might have known. He almost looks like a Mewtwo type character. But it's Bannet, which is a puppet offering. I don't know, the ability is a puppet offering. Yeah, little black puppet type character. Then we got a foil Gengar. Those I've seen before. And the regular Pokemons. And a Murkrow. That's cool. It's like a crow with a witch's hat. So looking at these abilities, it's like it definitely steps up their game with the Pokemon's how it's played apparently. And Magic Gathering went crazy in almost every other set. They're coming out with new abilities and rules, so you gotta struggle to figure those out and remember them. And, oh, I might have got lucky this time. We got Delmise, which I can't really tell what it is. Looks kind of like a sprite that's chained to a ship wheel. But we got a foil Pikachu. That's got to be worth something. That is cool. He doesn't have no new look or nothing, so it's not really Halloweeny. His ability though is Growl and Peekaboo. So don't know if that's anything new. And this is another like sprite with a witch's hat looking thing, a Mismagius. And you got 2 packs left. Oh, if I get a Charizard, that would be awesome too. Oh, I got a Zubat. I've seen those before in the Pokemon set. That's cute. Little blue bat. Gets 2 thumbs up from the wife too. And we got a Dusk Noir. He's cool looking. Kind of like a dark Kirby or a Pac-Man character. Got a Drifblim. Kind of looks like a little blimp character. And one more pack. Come on, Charizard. I was never into Pokemon. I always liked Charizard. I think I kept all my Charizard cards. Oh, if I did, some of them I have. It's definitely worth something. Alright, we got Sinestia, or Sinestea, a little teacup creature. I don't know what that's about. And another Mismagius. And then our foil in this one, we got close to a Charizard, but we got a Houndoom. Sort of kind of like a Dragon Hound. Got Sharp Fang for an ability there. Those are fun. I don't mind that. I might actually pick up another pack or two. since they were only 5. You do get a foil in every pack, so that's cool. But I'll look online, see what kind of attention they get, or anything anybody cares about. But yeah, I just wanted to do a extra video to make up for the other one getting cut off. So you didn't think I left you hanging, and I'll post them both together back to back. You can check them out. Got the burp. But yeah, the house is coming along, and I'll keep you up to date as the painting goes and the place it gets set up more and more. Hopefully, eventually, we'll be back to 5 to 7 days a week, putting shows out again. I did. It was nice. Last night was the last 2 nights actually. I was able to get some comics read. It's been a long time, other than the ones I've been reading online, because all of them being packed away. Uh, only ones I could get to were the ones that people were sending me digitally, so that was nice. But other than that, be good to yourselves. Be good to everybody else. Uh, keep following under the call of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes, leave a comment. I'll comment back. It's something worth talking about. I'll talk about it on a future show. Check out Crimson Color Comic Club. We just did the. It won't come out for probably a week or two, but we just did a show where we had David that used to run the comic shop, a friend of ours that got us all started with the whole Crimson Color Comic Club and all that stuff. He's teaching a comic type class now in the high school, and they did their first Comic Con a week ago, and we went, and I have actually. I'm going to show that before I end the show quick. No, I will do it in it. I gotta go over stuff anyways for the giveaway, but I did pick up some more stuff for my giveaway. I'll show that off with some other things I picked up at the show on a separate episode, since I am ending this anyways, and I need to have some other stuff to put out there. But yeah, we get one of the students, one of our favorite workers from our old comic shop. Uh, so check that out. She did an awesome job with the 2 books she worked on with the club, and hopefully she keeps it up. I want to see her become very popular in the future, and the way she's coloring and stuff and making things pop, she just reminds me of someone that could turn out to be another Jenny Frison or Mark Spears, with the way they make the images just jump off the pages and give it those awesome little highlights that would work wonderful in like a black light room and stuff like that. So check that episode out. That was a fun one. And we'll get back to you with more of these soon. Thanks. Bye.